Make sure it's showing up. All right, and let's go to Forbidden. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
Ooh, tonight we're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're not doing a Kickstarter special tonight. Tonight we have another creator though, Dylan Goss, and he's got a book called Mara. We're gonna be talking to him about it, and that's coming up next.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your meds, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, Sam? What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Catch the Craze. We are live once again. We don't have a Kickstarter today. The gentleman who's on our show does not have a Kickstarter, but he has a dope story you guys need to check out. And I'm going to start by saying, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us. Subscribe here. Follow us on Facebook, you know, all our social medias. And make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment down below. But definitely help us grow the channel. We're on the road to 1,000, bro. So we're getting there. We're getting there. And we also have our own Kickstarter. But what's happening, Sam? Talk to
me. Well, trying to get, grow Forbidden. The first campaign for Forbidden, we had 30 backers. The second campaign, we had 50 backers. So I'm trying to get to 75 or 100. And we hit, it's a slow crawl to the end. Although there are quite a number of people that are following the page, and I'm hoping that you all come out and start unlocking some of those great stretch goals and backer goals, because it's really dope. It's a really good book. Worked on it really long time. And it's running now. So we're down to 13 days now. And, we're at 30 backers and like to get to 75, And, it's a weird feeling when you think you're not going to repeat the same number of backers. And I felt positive. We went from 30 to 50, and, it looks like an upswing. So I'm hoping that everyone's just waiting for the last week, because we have some great incentives. Every backer, every 5 backers at $15 and up will go into a raffle. I also, for every 10 backers that pledge for the graphic novel bundle, you'll get a free commission sketch card from me. You pick the character, I draw it. There's a lot of great incentives. We are 20 backers away on Kickstarter from unlocking the first backer goal, and $125 away from unlocking the first stretch goal. So we're so close to 2 goals, 2 great incentives, and I'm hoping that you go out there and support the campaign. And let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Safari. Yeah, that's it, right? No. Yeah. So I'm trying to put it up while the hunt. Link, get this roster. Don't know why. But yeah, I'm just looking for it. Oh, there it is. Bang. There it is. So there it is. There's the page. 30 backers. We got 14 days to go, but at 8 p.m. tonight, it'll go down to 13 days. And again, we had 2 winners of the raffles. We had Spooky T2I, and we had Pops Van Zant. They were the 2 winners out of the 10 that were entered into the spinner. So we need 5 more backers to enter the spinner. And we're hoping that'll be you. We'll put your name on that spinner. George loves to use that spinner. You know, he spent a lot of money on that.
Baby. Spin it away. You know what I mean? A little Amazon special. You know what I'm saying?
Amazonian
special right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, guys, make sure if you haven't yet, you know, and if you have to pledge, you know, share it with your friends, see if anybody else is interested. But yeah, the campaign ends on Wednesday, December 1st at 8:12 p.m. It's no longer going to be there. So
yes,
Wednesday, December 1st, All or Nothing campaign. The goal has already been met. We're trying to get some stretch goals going. We're trying to get some more swag in the mail for you. And like Sam said, you know, there's more. There's some incentives for you to come on and take the plunge. There are people watching it, so that's a good thing. There are people who have liked it and are watching it. So hopefully in the next week or so, you'll start seeing a little hike in the numbers. So yeah, it's got the potential to get over the 75 backer mark. It's got that potential because there are enough people watching it to get us there. But
yeah, there's quite a bit of people, and so thank you for showing the interest. And I'm just hoping that you pull the trigger as we get closer. It is a little, you know, this is my baby, and I've been working on it for a long time, and I really want you to read this issue because it's 32 pages. It's the biggest book so far of the 3 that are released, and also, you know, my boy Prime Santra, this is his debut. He did a fantastic job in the art. There's 8 sample pages there. 8 sample pages for you to see, with the lettering done by none other than George the Dreamer Medina, who's wearing pink today. And
it's not pink. I don't know what you got against pink, but it isn't pink. It's salmon.
Salmon.
It's
salmon.
We've had this conversation before. Salmon.
You know, it's funny.
Salmon.
Every guy that doesn't like the word pink says salmon.
Hey man, I love pink. I have pink. I have pink.
Yeah, the hoodie.
I have pink. As a matter of fact, let me just pull up one of my kicks here. Look, that's pink.
Oh,
I have
damn.
pink.
Look at him.
I have pink,
Rocking
bro.
the pink. Rocking the
I
pink.
have pink.
Hey, pink's a good color. You know, when I used to be in the corporate world, I used to wear pink shirts with, you know, the nice pink ties, and it was
bro. It's
badass.
a beautiful color. It's a badass color.
Yeah,
man. It's a
with
badass color.
with nice what is it, like the saddle brown shoes and
boom.
boom,
Look at that.
popping with a gray suit,
making it pop.
with the gray strapped watch, with the, you know, I mean with the brown strap watch, with the everything had to match, bro.
Pop and lock,
had the
man.
cufflinks.
That's right.
And now I'm a brokepreneur. Salute.
It's like now I drink mini Coronas.
Yes.
And I'm broke.
I can't even afford a B hat. I got Levi's.
This is our lucky. This is our Kickstarter. You know, season hat.
Is that what it is?
The hat I wear when we're doing Kickstarters. It's the B.
Yeah.
So
B for
hopefully this is gonna get us. It's already hit its mark. It's a matter of just now going into the.
So what we were in the beats. That means we're gonna get a pledge tonight.
That's right. We're getting a pledge tonight.
So
whoever's watching,
tonight.
if you're listening, if you're watching, and you know, make sure you go to Kickstarter, go to type in Forbidden, and it'll take you right here. You can also go to Indiegogo. So if you're anti Kickstarter, you're like, man, I have Kickstarter. It's on Indiegogo. So go to Indiegogo.
Yes, Indiegogo is always. I don't have the same audience in Indiegogo that I have on Kickstarter, but there are 30 people in Indiegogo that have supported the books in the past. So hopefully they all come out. Again, we're on Indiegogo. We are 300, a little over 300 away from making goal. And on Kickstarter, and we're in Indiegogo with 24 people. No, I'm sorry, 19 away from unlocking the first backer goal.
Yeah, there it is. It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have that going on. Next week is Thanksgiving, bro. Next week is Thanksgiving.
It doesn't even feel like it, bro.
I know. It's come. It's like it's so fast. Next thing you know, we're in December, and then it's it's Christmas. It's like it's this year. The end of the year is going nuts right now.
Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you don't have a penny, a half a penny will do. If you don't have a half a penny, God bless you. You never heard that before?
No.
in elementary school. I don't know why all those songs from elementary school stood out in my head, but they did.
They did a good job. They did a good job ingraining those things into your brain. They did an excellent job. But yeah, no, I unfortunately don't remember that.
George's like, oh, here he goes again. He's singing.
He's getting delusional. Guys, we need a pledge. We need a pledge.
Yeah, we need a
We
backup.
need to get Sam, into that mode. But
did you see the covers on this campaign? They're fuego. I don't understand this. But yeah, the covers, the artwork, the lettering, the production. I mean, everything is just fire.
Yeah, no, it's done, and it's done. It's not even like you have to worry about, oh man, are they gonna finish, doing whatever they gotta. No, it's already done. It's complete. Yes. The thing is finished. Yes. They did the thing. Yes. Now it's a matter of just getting it into your hands. So.
Yep, and so we have on other news. So we're going to end out the year with the guests that we have that lined up, and then 2022 we're going to change our roster. Just letting anybody know, or you indies out there that wanting to get on Catch the Craze, we won't be doing back-to-back campaigns. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We're going to do just one. If you have a campaign, we'll do it on Tuesday, live, one a day. We'll be doing 2 a day, and it's just taken away from the guests that want to come on that don't have campaigns, and they just want to promote their craft. And so we want to give you guys the opportunity to promote what you do, but we're going to change it because there are too many campaigns. We just can't keep up with everybody, so we're going to slow down, and for the sake of production value and double bookings, and it's just too many. And if you want to be on the show, go to the website crazycomics.com, fill out the form, hit me up that way, make it easy. No more DMs on social media. Just if you can do it that way, it makes it easy to keep everything together, so that way we're not double booking, overbooking, because it's crazy right now. I've never seen anything like it. So I appreciate it, but we want to keep everything in one funnel, all the information going through one location, so this way I can pull and extract the information I need at the time I need it. When it's on, if I'm pulling the information from Twitter, from Instagram, from Facebook, it's a lot more challenging. So go to the website crazycomics.com with 2 E's and a Y, fill out the form, and you'll get a response, and we'll get to everybody. And if you're planning on having a campaign in February, you need to be booking it now.
Yeah, also don't forget, just because you can't get on a Kickstarter episode doesn't mean you can't promote your product later on down the road. I mean, I don't think the product's going to go away just because you have a Kickstarter and you're trying to make that goal. I think as an indie, I think you should be able to continue to grow a project beyond Kickstarter.
Yes.
So, definitely, we're not saying we don't want any more Kickstarter not any more Kickstarter projects as far as independent artists who are creating Kickstarters. We just can't put you on the show right now because there is such a demand. So we will pre-record you if you want, and then we can obviously air it later on and get you some exposure that way.
Yeah.
So don't forget that the shows are pre-recorded. So even if you come in on a Tuesday night at 7 p.m., that is pre-recorded for a later airing, which we will give you the date for that airing.
And just remember, there's also other ways to get the word out. And so we also provide sponsorships. You could send us a 30-second video, and for a really low fee, and I think it's like $10 to $15 per 30-second video spot. And we will play it on the show. You can sponsor multiple shows, single shows, and the link is in the summary. If you just click that link, it'll take you to it, and you can select which ones you want. And we'll run your commercial, and that stays forever online, and people will always know about you. So I see that our guest is in the waiting room. So rather than me tell you how it works, check this out.
Do you have a Kickstarter campaign and you're trying to figure out how to get the word out? You look online and you see the competition is fierce. Comic-Cons are slowly coming back, but in the meantime, how do you spread the word? You worked for hours creating your campaign. You post on as many social media sites as possible, trying to get the word out to no avail. Well, look no further. Why not sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze podcast, the fastest growing indie podcast in the market today? That 30-second promo can get you an extra 2 to 3 backers or more. Who knows? Let's go. Hit the link below and get one step closer to a successful campaign.
All right, so we're bringing in our guest, Dylan Goss, and let's go to the main page. All right, here we go. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend.
What's going on,
I like
Dylan?
that. I like that.
What's going on, brother? Welcome to the Craze.
I'll tell you, it's 8 a.m. where I am, right? And that intro woke me up better than coffee.
Awesome. That's what we do it. That's how we do it.
Where are you located? Where are you, Dylan?
I'm in Taiwan.
Wow,
okay.
Look at that. All across the, wow.
Now, is it 8 a.m. in the morning on Wednesday or on Thursday?
It's Thursday here.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn. We were yesterday. We had somebody from Australia. Today you're in Taiwan. So okay. So before we start, and we are welcoming everybody back. We're here with Dylan Goss. Tell us a little bit about who you are and who you were as a kid. Like how did you grow up? How did you get into this whole crazy comics thing? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my background's a can of worms, so buckle up. It's nothing bad. Don't worry. I just moved around a lot.
That's all right. We got can openers.
I was born in Southern Illinois, and when I was 4, we moved to Belize. And you may or may not have even heard of Belize. Tiny little country. Even now, it only has about 350,000 people total, whole country. And I grew up there, spent 20 years there, and then I moved to Taiwan with my wife. My wife is from Taiwan originally. We met in university. When we moved to Belize, we were going back and forth for a while, from the U.S. And one of those trips up, my dad passed a yard sale, and they were selling boxes of comic books. $1 a pop, $1 a box. He filled up the back of his pickup with $1 a box comics, So, yeah, that's how I got into comics.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, that's different.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So what was the first one you read from that pile?
First one I read from that pile was The Spectacular Spider-Man. Everything there was largely from the late 70s and early 80s, so a little bit before my time, but it was Marvel heavy. A lot of X-Men, a lot of Spider-Man. Had Spectacular Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. They had all the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
All the Spider-Men were there. I had some DC stuff too, but not a whole lot of it. It was mostly Wonder Woman, and it was good, but I was missing a lot of context because they're constantly referencing, oh, this happened in this episode of this comic you don't have. I'm like, okay, well.
That's right. They were big on that. They were big on putting a little extras at the bottom, see issue, whatever. And it's like, I don't have that issue, so I have no idea what the heck's going on there.
Yeah, I don't have that. And I still remember the ads in there, right? For the prank stuff. I bring up the prank stuff because this is relevant to my life now. The old ads would have the fish candies you could give people, right? They look like regular. You can just buy that in a supermarket here. That's a normal candy. I'm not even kidding, man. You just like, I look at these candies and I'm like, my Chinese isn't great. It's not for a lack of trying. It's just really hard if you speak English as a first language. Yeah. And I was new there, and I look at these candies and I say to my wife, how come there's a fish on the bag of candies? And she says, well, they're fish candies. Yeah, I was like, okay, well, now I know where they were getting it.
They're fish candies, literally fish candies. That is freaking nuts. Holy cow. So you made the move to Taiwan. Now, I mean, culture shock, right? Like you're going from, well, first you were born in the States, you go to Belize in Central America, right? And then all of a sudden you end up in Taiwan. Like, have you been able to, I mean, you must be somebody who can adjust to these things pretty easily, right? I mean, the culture shock must have been nuts.
Well, yeah, I mean, going to Belize was, of course, a whole lot easier. I was very young, and because I was so young, I was able to pick up the local language pretty easily. Now, officially, it's English, but in practice, everybody speaks Creole.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a lot of older people who move there go in with the mindset, oh, it's just pidgin English, it's fine. It's not fine. It's absolutely not fine. There's a lot of French in there, for instance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So that was easier. Moving to Taiwan was harder.
Yeah, I'm sure. Holy cow.
So is that where you got the? I guess was that where the influence came for Myra?
Mara's all over the place as far as influence goes. The whole wolf and girl trope. That's definitely Princess Mononoke right there, right? The desert world is actually from a Dungeons and Dragons setting. That was inspired by Dark Sun. The world isn't quite as bad as Dark Sun. Dark Sun is just a horrible, awful place, but
right.
Some inspiration came from there. And of course, barbarian wouldn't be in anybody's vocabulary if not for Conan, right? I mean, yeah. I think we can all agree there.
I picked up on that. Was the first thing I said. It was like Conan.
For those watching, we're talking about Mara. Mara is the story that Dylan has produced. It's a webcomic. Tell us a little bit about Mara so that people kind of can understand what we're talking about, because we know what we're saying, but the people watching may not. What is Mara about?
So Mara is about this little girl from a small fishing village, right? And part of that is from my life. I grew up in a little fishing village too, right? But unlike my life, hers gets pretty bad pretty quickly when a neighboring tribe attacks. And she ends up with the power of a spirit guardian, because the spirit guardian just didn't want to see the tribe get wiped out. It's like, okay, well, I got to do something, and I can't do something on my own, so help me out, kid, right? And now that she's trying to manage the power of the spirit guardian that she wasn't really prepared for. She's not the chosen one. Right. She's not someone who was born with power. She was just, well, I'm here and I don't want to die, so I'm going to do something. Yeah. And that's the sort of hero that appeals to me personally. Superman wasn't really interesting to me because he was just all powerful, and I like that's why I connected with Peter Parker a lot more. He was just some guy. He was a really smart guy. He made the web shooters himself. That was a technological feat, and he had GPS tracking before anybody, right?
Right.
But he was just a normal dude who had powers thrust upon him, and I think that's part of where the inspiration for that sort of origin story comes from for me.
Yeah. When I saw the images are beautiful, number one, but the story itself, there's something about the loss of innocence that resonates, I think, with the reader, because we were all young at one point, not knowing what the heck happened, and then this young girl, like you said, is thrust upon this world now, right? She becomes somebody that she had no idea it was coming, and and the way you did it was a spirit animal, right? That came in, or it was that came in and kind of did that. And what I like about that is that there is another animal, in the universe, like that spirit that says, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Like, you should not have done that." And the answer is, well, I couldn't lose everybody. In a sense. So tell me a little bit about the psyche behind that thought process of creating this character who now is kind of thrust upon that world. Like what was, other than I understand Spider-Man was your influence in doing that, but what was it like when you were thinking of creating this character? Mara being a little girl and that happening? Like, what was your thought process behind that?
Part of the reason she is a little girl is because I was influenced by Daphne Keene's performance in Logan. She comes out for that first fight, and I saw that in the theater, and that stuck in my head.
Yeah, very
Something
powerful.
Fierce,
Yeah.
And it was like she was a wild animal first, and then a person, and that really stuck with me. As far as why her parents hit her the best, she just got lucky, because Amaru said she's not the best of us, she's the last of us, implying that everybody else is dead, right? So what would normally happen, and this is due to a loss of culture, and I'll gladly get into that, but it would sidetrack us if I did it right now. Because of a loss of culture, they weren't doing the trial anymore to see who's going to be, the Spirit's champion. And because of that, he didn't know who was most worthy. And they have laws. They can't just do whatever they want. So he didn't know who was the most worthy in the tribe until there was only one.
Interesting, yeah.
So walk us through, because there's many ways to introduce a new character to the world, and you started out with a really devastating experience that she has to go through, very traumatic for kids. Not only that, but now she's taking on this new persona because she's being saved, right? So she went from one tragic moment to this point where now she has to determine who she is because she just committed these acts of violence, right? In order for salvation, right? So walk us through that process and how and your approach to starting out that way.
I think, there are two reasons I went that direction. First of all, the reason I would give anybody a tragic backstory, if you have a nice job, nice family, and I come up to you and I say, "Hey, man, you want to pick up a sword and kill some zombies with me?" You're probably gonna ask me to leave. You're not gonna be about that. So something has to spur someone into that kind of action.
Right.
Something bad has to either happen or be threatening to happen in a credible way to make someone do something so drastic. Right. And as for why I picked a child, when you want to explain to the reader about the world, I find that I like to have it explained to a child, because if adults are there, they're living in the world, they're familiar with the world, they don't really have a good reason to just talk about it, right? It's just exposition at that point. So what I want is for the reader to learn about the world as Mara learns about the world.
Right.
All she knows is her little fishing village, right? Mm-hmm. She has a lot to learn. And I think that's a good way to introduce the setting.
Right. No, it was a good start, middle, and end. So you were able to tell that first episode really well because you set the tone, family, lifestyle. Then you added the danger element, destruction. Then you added the salvation portion of it. Then you had the new journey, the new path, the new chapter, right? So you leave readers wondering what's going to happen next. So I think you did it really well. The second component to this is, what were the prerequisites for the Illustrator, and how did you find Rosie Wu?
So Rosie Wu, when I was looking for an illustrator, so I do software development as my day job. And of course I work with designers, and there's one designer I work with pretty frequently. And I offered her the job first because she also does comics, but she said, no, I really only do sci-fi, I don't do fantasy. But she had all of these artist friends and people she went to grade school with. So she put out an ad for me, and I had 15 people emailing me that day.
Wow.
Yeah, and, they were good. None of them were bad. Some people present themselves better than others. Of course, you don't have a portfolio. Well, sorry, can't really do much there. And it was hard to weed people out, man. But I made a short list of 3, and I contracted each of those 3 to do a character portrait or character concept. And as I was waiting for the others to finish up, Rosie came in first, and I was like, "Wow, this is really something special. These guys are gonna have to give me their A game to compete with this."
Yeah.
And they gave me good stuff too, but I just kept coming back to it, and I realized that I was more excited to see what she would do in the future. And I said, well, if I'm excited to see what she's going to do, then I think other people are going to be excited to see what she's going to do too.
Yeah, it's beautifully illustrated. The renderings, the coloring, I mean, everything's just flawless.
Gorgeous. It is. It is a beautiful, beautiful looking book. The name Mara, Dylan, does it mean something? Why did you pick the name Mara?
I did a lot of research into real life cultures for this comic as well, and Mara and the tribe named Rain were both Germanic in origin. And what I find is that with creativity, you really want to consume as much information as possible. That Wikipedia article you read 3 years ago about yurts, you probably don't remember it consciously, but it's bouncing around back here, and it's going to come out as an idea sooner or later. And I kind of wanted to give a broad background as far as real life cultures go to this character. So she's based heavily on Inuit as well, and Viking culture. And those are both cold weather tribes, of course. But since there was a horrible ecological disaster in her world, her tribe is no longer cold weather because there is no cold weather.
Interesting.
Walk us through the I'm sorry, George. The logo, the design. What was the inspiration for that look?
That look, I wanted to make it look like I feel the character is. She is ripping, she is tearing, she is not, nobody speaks of the grace of whirlwinds, right? She is vicious, she's armed with a bone weapon. And I think that if she were to leave a signature behind, that's how that would look.
You say that, and I'm looking at it. It almost looks like a message you would leave in sand, right? With like whatever things were laying around, kind of like you would just form these markings, these letters, because the A's don't look the same, right? It's like she just picked up that little bit. Okay, I'm gonna make that the A. It's really actually well done, and it kind of works within the world that you're creating. And I was gonna say, like, you're right about when you're doing research, and sometimes that thing, it just comes, right? Like you're sitting and you have to say, and you're like, holy cow, I can incorporate this into that story now that I know about that kind of thing. What was the moment that you kind of sat down? Was it when you watched that movie Logan, or were you kind of just sitting around and said, it would be a cool story? I could tell a story about a little girl. Like when did it happen? Like how did that happen?
So there were 2 competing wolf and girl stories that could have been made into a comic. The one I was originally looking at was very, very vastly different. It was more of a godling than Mara is. Mara wasn't really much of anything before this whole event. You know, she was happy and she had her parents, but she was just a kid. You know, didn't exactly have high status in the tribe. And this other one was more of a heroic individual to begin with, right? But I think Logan didn't exactly give me 100% of the reason to go this way, but it definitely tipped the scales. You know, I was on the fence. I was thinking about where I wanted to go, how I wanted to do this, and then I saw that fight scene, and yeah, that was feral. That got me pumped, and I was like, yeah, this is what I'm feeling.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's always interesting to find out how those ideas kind of form. You know, ourselves being creators, you know, me being a writer and stuff like that. I'm always thinking of, you know, ideas and things just kind of like you may be watching something and they just creep in there, man, and they just won't leave you alone until you put them on paper and you do something with them, right? It was that the same thing for you? It just wouldn't leave you alone?
Oh, absolutely. If I have an idea bouncing around my head and I don't put it on paper, I'm not going to be able to sleep. It's just constant. I have 5 unfinished scripts right now just because, you know, it's like an idea, I got to put it down, right? I got to put it down. And as far as Mara goes, I mean, we're drawing chapter 2. I've already written chapter 8.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
When an idea comes, I have to deal with it.
That's amazing.
Nice.
That's amazing. Yeah, and for those watching, Mara is also, it's a webcomic. The comic is on the website is what is the name of the website? Mara-comic.com.
Yep.
Yeah, mara-comic.com. You go on there. I don't know how often you put a page on there, but if you sign up to your Patreon, which we're going to talk about, you can get those pages before they even come out on the website, right? So tell us a little bit about the website and tell us a little bit about your Patreon and what you're doing there.
The website updates every Thursday, so there's going to be a page coming pretty soon. And the Patreon gets everything a week early. You know, even at the lowest tier, you get it a week early. And we have a Discord for patrons because I mean, I don't want to say it keeps the riffraff out, but you know, I don't care if I get trolled. Honestly, I'm pretty thick-skinned, but I'm not going to tell my illustrator and my translators, hey, you got to go get trolled in a public Discord. So everyone who's there is pretty nice. You know, they're all positive, and it's great. It's a great little environment. You know, the higher tiers have higher quality pages because I just can't put the high quality pages on the website. It's going to take too long to load. Those things are 15 megs. You don't want to load that on a web page.
That is true. Yes, that is true. It's a bit, you know, you talk about trolls. Hey, listen, if you have trolls, you're doing something right, probably, right? If somebody's willing to go in there and troll you, then that means that you have something. You have something going on. So that's not always such a negative. I mean, some of the shit that they say, though, it's ridiculous. But like you said, you have to have, you know, when you're in this business or when you're in any industry like this where you're in, you know, live to the public, you have to have that thick skin. If you don't, it's a problem. You're probably going to quit before you even get anywhere. But so how long have you been working on the comic? Like, how long has this been around?
I started doing interviews for artists in December of last year. Okay. And then, you know, finished that up and was working with Rosie with, you know, how she wanted the script done, because I don't believe in doing the script my way and then telling people I work with, hey, you got to do this. You know, I'm paying you, so you have to do it this way now. Right. Because creative people, I think, do better work when they're happy.
Yeah.
So working with how she wanted to have the scripts done and helping her understand the world, that sort of thing, you know. And we started releasing in April. April 8th was the first page that went out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, I'm looking at the archives on the website. Chapter 1 is already out there. So for those watching, if you want to go check out the first chapter, it's already out. All 23 pages are up on the site. And then chapter 2, you're up to page 10. So these are going to be coming out as the weeks go along. That's interesting. Is this now, you said you've written, chapter 8. Like, is this going to be an ongoing, do you see an end to the story?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. There is going to be.
Yeah, it's a hard end.
Wow.
I feel like, I really like Marvel stuff. Like, I don't make that a secret, but I feel like I've had enough Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
How many decades of Batman do we need? How many times do we need to see Batman's parents get shot in an alley?
Every movie apparently.
Every movie. And I don't want to victim blame, but I mean, they went with furs and pearls through a place called Crime Alley. I mean, just take the long way around.
That's funny, man.
But that's why I like indie comics. I mean, I want to see fresh stories. I want to see stories that are going to end, and I want to see the creators come up with something new. And I want to create the type of comic that I want to read.
Right. Yeah.
So is it long? Yeah, sure. It's long, but it definitely has an end.
Right. And when you say long, are we talking about over 20 chapters? Under 20?
I think 20 is a proper estimate.
Yeah. That's good though. That's pretty. I mean, for an indie comic, that's those are some good numbers. I mean, big numbers. Because I like, for me, I'll give you an example. My book, like I did a graphic novel, 6 chapters, I was done. Like, just because it's just the production of it, right? Like your artist having to, the hiring of the artist. Maybe the artist has other things that they have to do. Now you have to get another artist. So some of that stuff, just to avoid some of that stuff, I try to keep it short. But I love the fact that you have a story. It's you're thinking around that number and you're trying to reach that number. So that's awesome. Is your artist on board for the entirety of it, as far as you know right now, or?
Absolutely, yeah. I believe in making stories as long as they need to be.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I have another script for a wildly different thing that I'm hoping to get to in the future, and that's only 6 chapters.
Gotcha.
Because that's all it needs to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to show Mara going from next to nothing to being incredibly powerful, and to me that's a journey, right?
Any plans
and
for
journeys take time?
Yeah. Any plans for a physical book, printing it up?
Yeah, I've been talking to people about that. I've been looking at printers. Right now, it's looking like we're going to do the kill 6 billion demons thing, where they have an arc in one book.
Mm-hmm.
And that being the case, it would be chapters 1 to 4.
Okay. All right. So let's say, for example, I'm a huge fan of Mara, right? And you have committed yourself and you've written 20 books and that's all it is. It ends. As a fan, can I convince you to give me more Mara if that was the case? Like, could I convince Dylan to, please give us another arc? Can we have another arc? Or do you think that that's it? No, like you said, it's a hard end. It is what it is, and we're moving on.
I looked at it.
Oh, no.
Oh.
He froze.
Yeah.
Oh, the cliffhanger. The cliffhanger. Dylan, I think we lost you, bud.
Oh, yeah, it's in freeze.
I can still hear you, no problem.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, you're back. You're back. Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was hearing you the whole time.
I thought we'll play charades. I was like...
But go ahead.
Okay, so I thought about, how it could possibly be extended past the end there. And that story would have to end there. It wouldn't really make much sense to continue going. To pick up Mara afterwards, it could.
Yeah.
But to just continue the existing story, it's not going to happen. You would get adult Mara if I picked it up. And I definitely have considered it because I knew someone was going to ask. I knew someone was going to ask, right?
Well, you know what it is? When you look at this, like, and for those, I'm telling you, you guys got to check out the first chapter. Just at least, when you read through that first chapter and you meet this little girl and you see how badass she is by the end of that first book, you're like, it's almost like what happened when I was watching Game of Thrones and Arya, right? The character of Arya. Like, I fell in love with that character in the first few episodes of that of the show, and I was like, that girl's gonna be somebody in this show. And sure enough, at the end, you know, she does what she does. But I kind of got the same vibe from Mara. Like, you know, she's like this warrior, you know, and she doesn't even know. And the difference with her though, she didn't choose this. Like, it wasn't her. She wasn't like, oh, Dad, I want to go up and be a warrior. Like, she's not out there, you know, shooting, you know, the fish that she caught. She's just a little girl, you know, and this happened. So I think you did a really good job just introducing her and introducing the world that she is. And so you guys got to check this out. That's what I'm saying.
I appreciate it. You know, it wouldn't be worth doing if people weren't enjoying it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. So what are your, you have a captivated audience. There's your elevator pitch. Why Myra?
Why Mara? Well, if you like, you know, if you like the wolf and girl trope, you're gonna get plenty of that. Mara is a recurring character, and her merry band of geniuses is definitely gonna stick around too. You know, Jum is a fan favorite on Twitter right now.
Nice.
Yeah. And he's a big goofy guy and he's great. He brings some good balance to it. You know, you can't have all tragedy. Right. You got to have a little comedy. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he does a good job of balancing it. Pele is he's your one straight man. You know, he's trying to keep everybody level headed while Mara is off screaming and Jum is misinterpreting a common saying. You know, I think the cast is worth following. You know, I wrote these guys the way I would want to read a band of adventurers. You know, and I think a lot of writers aren't willing to admit that they're writing for themselves, but I feel like you kind of have to,
right?
Because if you don't like something, why are you putting it out?
Yeah, absolutely. And people want to contact you, where can they reach you?
We're on Twitter, Stuffed Rock. We're on Facebook, Stuffed Rock Studio. And those are the primary ways to get in touch with us.
Awesome.
And we have open DMs. Yeah, you can contact us anytime.
Outstanding.
Sweet,
well, thank you, Dylan, for being on the show. Did a great job, Mara. Please check it out, guys. The link is in the chat, and it's also in the summary. So check out Mara. Support this talented creator's Patreon, and so that way he keep bringing us more stories. Thank you again for coming on Catch the Craze. We appreciate you, brother, and you can always you have an open invite.
Thanks for having me.
You got it.
Take care, Dylan.
You too.
All right, bud.
All right.
Awesome. I also wanted to let everybody know that on the Patreon, if you go to the website, he's got different packages for membership levels. He's got the Wanderer at $2, Adventurer at $5, and Pack Member at $10 a month. So if you guys want to join the Patreon, go ahead and do that. Those are the 3 tiers that he has. He keeps it really simple, and I'm telling you right now, the artwork to this for this book is
crazy,
incredible.
Crazy,
yeah, it's incredible.
Crazy,
very well done.
You know,
very
and
well
I mean, I. In looking at it and reading the story, I don't think anybody else would have been able to do it justice the way this artist is doing it. She's done a fantastic job with it. You know, really beautifully done. I mean, the colors, everything.
Yeah, it looks painted. It looks like you know, everything just looks so like smooth. It really is. You guys got to check it out. So go to mara-comic.com. It'll be in the show notes. But yeah, no, definitely check that out. No, excellent interview. Taiwan, 8 a.m. in the morning, man.
Yeah, and no, we're getting a lot of internationals. The challenge is getting them the time.
Yeah, the time
zones.
Yeah,
you know, I have one that I'm trying to figure out how to work that one out. But no. I mean, again, so if you're in Taiwan, subscribe to Catch the Craze.
That's right.
Australia, subscribe to Catch the Craze. Help us get monetized, because we want to expand our reach. Just like we have a lot of guests from all across the globe, we love to be able to allow them, when they come on the show, to reach you across the globe. So the more people that subscribe, the more that they're able to get their word out to you. And if you've been a guest on Catch the Craze, don't forget, please subscribe. Show your brother some love the way we've given it to you. With that said, I remind everybody that Forbidden is on Kickstarter, and Indiegogo. So pledge, get yourself that copy of the graphic novel Volume 1. If you don't want the graphic novel, you just want a floppy, you can start with issue 0 for $5 for a digital copy, or get yourself a physical copy. But we have the first 3 issues already there. We got 13 days left. Support Forbidden. Let's get to 100 backers. Let's get you on that raffle. George wants to bring out that spinner and put your name on the spinner. And let's get the raffle going. I have 2 great incentives, and we're so close to unlocking those incentives. We're $125 away from unlocking the first stretch goal, and it's in a crazy stretch goal. It's David Hunter and the Creepers. And then we're 20 backers away from unlocking the first backer goal. You have 2 chances to get some cool swag that's free, that you didn't even bank on. You pledge, like, all right, and then now all of a sudden you're going to get all this cool swag. So we need everybody to go out there and pledge and support Forbidden and help. George said that we're going to get a backer tonight. That's why he has the B for backer. I'm waiting to see if that B holds true, or if that B means... So it all depends. But I do want to say thank you to Rebel Warlock for subscribing to Catch the Craze tonight. We appreciate you, Rebel Warlock. And that's another episode of Catch the Craze. Join us in 9 minutes, because we'll be back. We're going to be back with the creators of, was it Space Oddities?
Space Oddities.
Number two on Kickstarter.
Right.
We had 3 shows lined up tonight. One had to reschedule due to some complications, and we rescheduled him for December. So we were going to do 3 shows tonight. It was going to be a long night for Sam. But with that said, I'm Sam the Crazy Man there.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him.
Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
my.
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.